What's up? It's TRaynard, and we're here having great conversations with Latoya. You
Yes,
having a
we
good
are.
time?
Yes, I am. Yes, I
All
am.
right. So we've kept it kind of light up to this
We
point.
did. We did.
Okay. So you mind if we get a little deeper?
Let's go.
Make you a little uncomfortable?
Let's go.
You know?
I'm
All
ready.
right. So now I know you are a very successful entrepreneur. You definitely, from what I know, you have multiple streams of income, and you're definitely on that path to your first million. Does that become problematic in dating when you have the average Joe Blow that clocks in at 8, clocks out at 4? Do you feel that that becomes problematic in dating because he's intimidated?
Not so much intimidation. It comes more from my side and my viewpoint. If he doesn't grind as hard as I am, or he is not as, you can work a 9 to 5, but you got to have ambition and want more. If that ambition is not there, then I'm not interested anymore.
Right.
Because now I'm feeling like I'm outworking you, and that either we can work at the same level, but I can't outwork you. I can't outwork my man.
Does it matter if you make more money than your man? Doesn't matter?
No, it doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
No.
You know what? I kind of feel you on that. I mean, I'm not saying that the lady in my life has to be an entrepreneur, but she got to understand and respect the grind.
Right.
You know, she can't, I've dated people in the past that are like, well, you doing good with this right here. And I'm like, but I can do so much better.
Right, exactly.
And
Exactly.
so I definitely have to have somebody at my side that's promoting me to be the best that I can be.
Right.
Now, do you believe in traditional roles?
I do.
Really? Okay.
do.
In what way?
I feel the man should be the head. That's in everything. It doesn't have, if I make more money than him, he should never feel it, and no one should ever know it. No one should be able to look at my relationship and say, oh, I can tell she makes more money than him. You know, that, because you can get that feeling from someone. You're like, yeah, I know what she makes more money than him.
But wait a minute. But the head is not necessarily tied to money, though.
No, it's not necessarily tied to money, but I feel like a man should run his household. I feel like a man is in control of his household. A woman is in control of the house itself. He is in control of what comes in the house and, everything that's on the outside. I just...
Oh, okay. That sounds like an episode of 1955 Andy Griffith. Okay, especially... let me ask.
It might do, but what you could say about marriages back then, they worked.
Okay, but you know what? I don't know that they necessarily worked. I think in this day and time that women are making more money and they're more independent, so they're not so reliant on that man in order to survive. I think like with our grandparents, they had to stay together because the man didn't know how to take care of the children in the household, and the woman did not make the income
Correct.
in order to sustain, so they had to be together.
Correct.
Not because I don't think they were happier. I just think they were like, shit, ain't nothing we could do but stay together.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel like any marriage... Maybe you may get 2 out of 10 marriages and they're totally blissful all the time. I feel like a marriage is something that constantly has to be worked on. You constantly have to keep falling in love. You constantly have to grow, because every 10 or 15 years you as a person change. So you have to go back and now fall in love with that new person. It's like a constant thing that you have to keep going. And I wouldn't say women have stepped up and started making the money. I'm definitely not saying women can't work or anything like that, but don't mistake that and think that now you're somehow, because now you bring home the money and you do this, that your man is somehow now beneath you in the
Right.
family, in the way the family is supposed to be ran.
And my theory is, I really believe that because a lot of our men have not been present, a lot of our men have not been accountable, that these young ladies were raised to be strong and independent, because the chances of them finding a great guy who will be the head and you live happily ever after, as time goes on, the chance of that dwindles. So women are being groomed to be self-sufficient. But what I think what happens is, unfortunately, strong women, and I'm talking about my sisters, give off the vibe of, you know what, I can do bad by myself. I'm
Right.
good.
Right.
Because you're now in position, you're buying your own homes, you're buying
Right.
your own cars, you're taking your own vacations.
Right.
And whatever you want in life, you're able to attain it yourself.
Correct.
But what you give the vibe to us is, you know what?
I don't need you. Exactly. And that's
Right.
what I'm saying. So now that women have this, I'm going to call it power, but now that they have the power and the money and the capability, they're giving off the feed of, well, I don't have to let you lead my house. I can do it myself. And I feel
Right.
like that order is now wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That order is now messed up. And regardless to what anyone wants to think, we're mammals. Mammals act accordingly. So you won't go out in the wild and see, any other species of a mammal come out of their roles regardless of what's going on. A male lion is going to be a male lion. A female lion is going to be a female lion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you if you got into it and somehow a way you shook it up and now you're making the women hunt and the lion, the male lion stay home and watch the cubs, it'll throw everything off balance.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not
Right.
saying, now I don't want everyone to think I'm not saying women have to stay home and can't work. That's not what I'm saying.
And
But
bake
I'm saying,
cookies.
yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that just because you have that power, it should not roll over into you not wanting or needing, when you have a man, him needing to lead you, have the self-worth to lead your family.
You know what? I think there are some women out there that have the amazing ability to be the bosses on their job.
Right.
But then they come home and they're not bossing their husband.
Correct.
And I think that's a unique skill set that a lot of women possess. And as men, we know if we got a phenomenal woman at our side that's not only gorgeous, but she's intelligent and has the ability to multitask and add value to what we're building, right? So I know for me, I would be a dummy to have that type of woman at my side, but not tap into all of those things because it helps us grow together.
Right.
But on the flip side, I don't want somebody bossing me around. I'm not going to boss you around.
Exactly.
Don't boss me around.
Exactly. Like I feel like you can't take a man's manhood.
Right.
You can't do that. And it's a fine balance. I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. My dad always raised me to do everything. Like I had to, toys come in for Christmas. Okay, once we open them up, put them together. I mean, he was never one to put our toys together. I was building fences at 8, building decks at 10.
Wow.
I mean, I can pretty much fix anything in the house. He's made me like that. So I have found that even with going back to my kid's father, when Christmas time would come, he would privately take me to the side and be like, man, why did you do that? Why did you build my son's race car track when I was trying to do it? And then you jumped in and you took over. You embarrassed me in front of my boys.
What did you understand that? And were you receptive to that?
I didn't then. I was just like, because you were doing it wrong and you were just taking too long. The kids are crying. They want to play and this. So I just took over. And once I started to sit back and realize, and it got later into our relationship, when that time came, I would just leave the room.
Right.
I would just have to leave the room and let him do that with his boys or for his boys. And even now with his daughter, we just had his birthday and he bought her some stuff. I literally had to leave the vicinity because I'm just sitting there looking like, do that look like that go there? No, that does not go there. That goes over there. And I'm doing it mentally, but I don't want to.
but you know what? I think that's something that's key that and I'm speaking from a male perspective that we really wish women would understand. There are some things that we say or a manner in which we want to approach something. In your head, y'all are like, that ain't gonna work.
Right.
But you know what? You have to let us do it.
Right.
Right? You have to let us bump our head.
Right.
And to come back to you and say, babe, you know what? You were right.
Right.
And the key is don't say, see, I told you so. If you listen to me, then no, just be like, okay.
Yeah. Because y'all are sensitive.
Oh, we are. Well, you know why? Because, and I often say this, women operate on love. Men operate on respect. And so anytime that there's an issue with respect, then, it's something that affects us.
Right.
It really does.
Right. I see it. I definitely see it now, being more mature.
Wow. So coming back, we definitely going to talk about some red flags, some things that you see in dating that maybe is a turn off or maybe some things that are a turn on.
Okay.
I definitely want to know, are there some things that over the years have changed as far as your preferences?
All right.
Also, we are here at Conversations with TRaynard. We like nice feet, so we're gonna have you take your heels off, and we're gonna see what you're working with. All right. Okay. All right. So hey, I tell you what, this is TRaynard and this is Latoya. We'll be right back.